Hi, welcome into Let's Draw. How is everybody? Thank you very much for joining in. Yeah, we're working on everything, which is great. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. This is Let's Draw. This is a little kind of half an hour drawing lesson, followed by a chat about art and stuff like that, but also a chance for you to win an NFT today as well. So keep an eye out for that. I've got co-host, co-founder, co-everything, man in the chair, dog in the chair is here. Joff, how are you, Joff? Are you all right, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks. Dog in the chair is pretty accurate, isn't it? Or dog on the sofa. Or
Oh,
dog, get off the sofa, get in your box.
I thought about this the other day. I like the idea because you've been the man in the chair now for the last few weeks, but it makes more sense for you to be the dog in the chair. But now you've said dog on the sofa, that feels even better. So we'll stick with dog on the sofa if that's all right.
Yeah, works for me.
Any
How are you doing anyway?
all great, mate. All great. I'm fantastic for being here. I'm very excited about today's show as well because we've got all my favourite artists in today who insists on being called by his full Twitter handle of created by underscore Imrie. And so, yeah, let's
You have to say
introduce.
the underscore as well.
We've got to do the
The underscore is
underscore. Yeah,
important.
yeah. And you can't just see an underscore. You've got to say underscore as well. He insists on this. So, yeah, let's introduce our friend Craig. Hi, Craig. How you doing, mate?
How you doing? I'm good actually. I'm looking forward to this. A wee bit of drawing. Remember, it's created by underscore Imrie,
Thank you.
or I don't reply. No.
There you go. I love the fact that you were in the green room and actually listening to what we were saying as well, because we were taking the mickey out of your handle. But yeah, just to explain to everybody that is probably not familiar with you, anybody that's not heard of you, I'm sure everybody has, but anybody that's not heard of you, just can you give us a little bit of an update about yourself?
I'm a digital artist mainly. I kind of specialize mostly in robots and cute animals. Uh, I find it dead hard to talk about myself that way. I feel as if my style's kind of like cyber pop. It's kind of cyberpunk, but super colourful and bright and cartoony. Um, it's very inspired, I think, by like Jamie Hewlett and Adventure Time. I think that's probably another good way to do it. But I think I've kind of known from my line work. I've got really nice weight in my line work, and that sounds as if I'm very modest there. But but that's it. I'm not very good at describe yourself when that's I struggle with that.
That's pretty good. I think I've got a good understanding of who you are. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell, do we need subtitles? Craig's from Scotland, so yeah, I think probably the best digital artist in Scotland.
Aye, definitely.
Yeah,
I'd go with that.
we'll
It's
go with
got to be
yeah. And illustrated World Series champion a couple of times, 3 times, 2 times. How many times?
two. It should have been three probably, but just two.
Should have been 3. What happened? Did you
Just
get?
modest there.
Did you get? No. Did you get disqualified for something for cheat?
No, I went too Imrie. I feel as if there's like a balance, and I just went too far one year, and it was just a bit too nuts. There was a bit too much going on in it, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm
No,
sure
it's never been. I've never had a victory stole from me. I know that. I would never say that. It's always been defeated by the person that should have won.
that's fair.
Before I sound like a bad loser there.
No, I've seen a few where people have been like disqualified for having like an extra color or something like that because they have some weird rules, don't they, about what you can do.
I've done it a few times now though, so I'm pretty comfortable with doing it. I think. I don't think I've never been disqualified.
Good claim to fame. Nice one. So let's I just want to say hello to a few people who are in the chat as well. Our mutual friend Hellbound's watching on YouTube as well. One of the highlights of one of the Court Fests, probably 2023 was it, when you and Hellbound both made the journey from Scotland to Peterborough for some unknown reason, just to come and hang around and paint in the studio for a few hours.
It was brilliant. That was one of the highlights of that year.
It was fantastic.
Aye, it was great. I've always wanted to meet you. Like I'd look up to you as an artist, so it was great that I get invited down and got to meet you eventually.
No, it was awesome, and the battle lines that we did that night as well. It was you. It was like it was a powerhouses of line work because it was you against Noel from Belgium. Is he from Belgium? Holland? I think he's from Holland.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, it was Noel. It was Noel, and you and him had an art battle. It was just an amazing time. I can't remember who won though. Do you remember who won?
I think it should have been no. His lines are insane. His line work is nuts.
It is
He's graffiti pieces look digital. That's how good they are.
three fingers. That's what he does. He always told me that's how he gets his lines always so consistent. All of his line work is three fingers thick when he's spray painting, which is just a great idea.
I need to steal that. I'm not. I need to practice more on my graffiti.
Do you do much graffiti? I saw a couple of years ago you kind of started doing it a little bit more and getting out and painting.
No, I don't. I could never call myself a graffiti artist. I'd love to. I love doing it. I love when I get out. I love to do it, and but it's hard. It's not an easy thing to just go and do. There's not. That's me. I'm kind of lying now. I'm making excuses because there's a place quite near me now that I found that you can go to. But Scottish weather, it's cold, it's wet.
Yeah.
I've always got excuses, but I'd love to do it more. I would. I really would because I really enjoy that. That's one thing that I would like to spend more time on.
Fantastic. We're going to make that happen. So let us know, mate. What are you going to be drawing for us today? What are we drawing with you?
I'm probably just going to draw a nice wee TV head. My logo, not just my logo. I'll draw it a wee bit more stylized and a wee bit more fun. I can, if you want, I can just get started and then I'll kind of talk through it. And Hellbound, you better be joining in. I better see a picture for you drawn along.
We got the thumbs up, so I think he is. Yeah. If anybody wants to share their artwork, just jump over it. So, Craig, feel free to, created by _Imrie, feel free to, on, mate, get started. And I might just ask you a few questions about what you're using and stuff like that as well. So feel free to explain stuff. But I just want to tell everybody that if you want to share your artwork, I think probably the best place to share your artwork is on our Discord. So just jump into discord.gg/corpdogs. All the links that you could ever possibly need are now in the URL down below, corpacademy.com, let's draw. So if you can't find the Discord, just go there. You'll be able to jump into the Discord there and share some artwork. And we will share those pictures. So any pictures that we see in the Discord will kind of come into the live feed as well. Fingers crossed. So, Craig, start
Sorry,
off
Corp,
with
can I just say that, like, it's been, what, 10 seconds? And already this is like the best looking TV box I've ever seen.
That's what I was thinking. I need to quickly get in and say, right, quickly before you finish, what app are you using? What brushes do you use? If anybody's out there starting out with digital drawing and they wanted to copy your style, what are their settings?
I'm using an iPad that you're going to ask settings. That kind of throws me off because I'm a digital artist that technically treats his iPad like a expensive pen and pad.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Procreate on it. I use one brush. It's my line work brush. I probably should have sent it earlier on, but I sent it to you on Discord. If people want it, they can download it. It is basically just like the studio pen, but with a lot more sensitive, and it's got none of that weird fixing lines on it. What do you call that? See, that's what I mean. I don't know. What's it called? It's got no stabilization on it, so
Okay.
when you draw a line, that the line stays the way it's supposed to look. It doesn't try and fix it because I drew a lot with the Pentel pocket brush, and I really like that as a pen, and I wanted to try and get my pen to be the same as that. So Studio Pen, if you don't have the download, but I sent it there, and if you can send it to folk as a link or whatever. But I use my brush. That's one brush I use for everything. It's my eraser as well. And all I've got is like 3 different widths set up.
Brilliant. If anybody wants that brush, what I'll do is I'll share it on the Let's Draw page down below a little bit later, if that's cool. What's your process then for drawing? So this is a recurring object, character, logo for you. Do you ever sketch anything out, or are you just straight in with the pen work?
No, I'll always just do a sketch first. Super rough, just to kind of more or less give me shapes. and then I'll put the opacity of that one right down, and then I'll do a layer on top of
Right.
it. Just tidy everything up as I go.
So have you got something in mind for what you're drawing, or are you just experimenting, seeing what works at this stage?
I thought this was a good one to do. I kind of draw. See that way, like when you're on the phone and people are scribbling faces or they're doing anything. Or TV head is kind of my go-to doodle.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's turned into like a few different things in my work. It's ended up being my logo for some reason. Like it's ended up more or less the head of my main character in the world that I've built. So it's just that it's quite iconic to me. I feel obviously there's loads of people. It's a tube TV. It's not super original. I get that as well, but it's cool. Do you know what I mean? It's a cool thing.
I think nowadays
Um,
most TVs are like flat screens as well, so it's got that like retro vintage kind of feel to it as well. Maybe a bit of cyber.
and we're old, so it's good to reminisce in the old happier times.
That's right. Yeah. Before we sound like
Um,
too much like old farts, so you've done your like rough sketch there. You've dropped the opacity onto another layer. Same brush.
Same brush, and I'll use quite like you can set the different what even part is this? The size, so I can set a different size here. But that one lets me get quite a lot of variation if I want it. So I'll always start with like let's see if it tells me what is it. So it's a 30%, 28% size on that. And this is me working at dimensions.
Greg, sorry to interrupt. Cool. Can you check the feed to Discord and also X? People are saying that they can't see the feed on Discord. I don't think X is live either.
Oh no.
But that might be a decision.
Yeah, no worries. We'll have a little look at that. You carry on though, Craig.
Sorry, Craig, Karen.
No, no worries. I was just showing like oops, not that's the wrong button going in there. Just the dimensions that I'm working on. For any particular reason. It just seems to be kind of high res, decent enough that you can it doesn't go all pixelated, or you can print it and it looks.
Do you normally have
so
like an output in mind for these? Like you just said, but it's considered it's normally digital first, and then if you can print it, you can print it if you need to.
Aye, so I like all my work to be able to be printed. I got myself a new printer at the end of last year, and I've been dabbling with that. And but it seems to have been lucky enough that everything, the resolution I draw in works, so that's good. Draw resolution, stay that way. But I like the idea of prints. But what I would do now is I would go in with just that line, do a wee bit of variation in my lines, so it just kind of, I don't take anything too serious or worry about anything too much. The only thing that I would really think about at the start, but when you're working digitally, it doesn't matter, so you can always rub things out, is like, down the bottom, I would like to leave like a broken line. Depending on if I want it to be sitting. So one of the nicest things I've learned that makes something look really good drawing is a broken it just makes it look as if it's actually sitting on something, rather than if you draw a solid line, it doesn't look right. It looks as if it's not part of a scenery or anything. Whereas if a line's broken that adds weight, it makes it look as if it's actually sitting. But I'm probably doing that with this one, but we'll come back to that. So I'll just go around all the main lines, the basics parts. I like to kind of draw my pieces in layers, like build everything up, make it all look nice. A lot of black lines, a lot of thick black lines. And another thing that I learned is I'm not very good at drawing straight lines. Anything in real life, nothing. So I've got a shaky hand, and what I do is I just break them up, I taper them off, and then I just draw wee lines in them. So it's like a style choice made through my inability to draw a straight line.
Straight lines are overrated. Smooth lines are overrated, I think.
Aye, I think so.
I've always said wonky lines look better and a lot more fun to draw as well, aren't they?
Definitely. Stressing.
Yeah.
I've always says I'm not a strong believer in consistency either. Like if I draw my can't mind them being slightly different shapes. Let's say like come back to like Adventure Time, like they can draw Jake and Finn and the characters, and they can be a wee bit different. They can be slightly odd shaped, and I like that about it. I like that they don't need to be exactly the right all the time. Right, I'll leave that. I'll come back to that.
Where did the love of Adventure Time come from?
I've always loved cartoons. Like growing up my whole life, I've always watched cartoons, and I think Adventure Time just hit like it just seemed to be. I really loved the fact that it had you could watch an episode and it was daft and like you'll know about bacon and pancakes and stuff. But there was always this underlying story going on, and I really liked the way they told the story as well.
Yeah.
And I loved the fact that it could have a dog and a human, and then like a cookie, and then a wee fire guy. And like it didn't matter. The world was just created in a way that they could do anything they want. And as an artist, that's just think of that. Let me just what do you want to add this time? It's going to be a donut with wings. Do you know what I mean? If you want it to be in the can.
Any other cartoons that you watch that we need to be aware of? Any series that people should be watching?
Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
That's my two favourites. I think I love Samurai Jack. I do like Teen Titans Go. I know that's a bit a lot of people aren't really into that one because they cancelled other Teen Titans because of it, but I like it.
Yeah.
I think these like you watch these animations and they look dead simple, but I feel as if you can learn quite a lot from them, like how much they can animate or show, like they can show emotion and so easily, like with something so simple like the eyebrows slightly moving and stuff. I feel as if you can learn quite a lot from them.
Yeah.
It's talented people that do them.
I'm giving away that I'm a dad, but I love Bluey.
I love Bluey as well.
Bluey is my go-to.
That's good.
There you go. Question for
What about you?
Oh,
favorite cartoons. Question for the audience. I like Solar Opposites. You've been watching Solar Opposites. It's the like Justin Roiland. You know, he did I can't remember what it's called now. Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's about
Rick
the
and
wee
Morty.
aliens us in the shelf or something.
And
Is
then
that one?
It's what? It's been what?
Is it about wee aliens on a shelf or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's aliens that have landed on Earth. But Justin was in a lot of trouble in court. I think he's been cleared of it all, but it was in a lot of trouble in court, and so he got kind of dropped by everybody. And in Solar Opposites, they just made a storyline about the fact that the character's voice had changed because he'd been shot with a voice changing ray. I just love the fact that they brought the real world into it. Didn't even try and hide the fact that on Rick and Morty they got a voice actor in who sounds just like Justin Roiland to play the part of Rick Sanchez. But on Solar Opposites, yeah, they just got a whole new actor in and just gave him a whole new voice, which was brilliant.
When I do these big shapes, sorry, I'll just kind of back to that. I like to have very black areas, so like where the darkest shadows would be, I like to do like just a solid black. So like the screen would be inserted inside that TV and that top bit. So we're thinking the sun's coming from, well, just somewhere up the top.
Yeah.
Just straight up. But I also use black for things in the background. So like that, I use it for two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to show that something, like if it was like a wee guy and he was like standing with an arm coming this way and an arm going back the way, I would just colour that one in.
Okay, yeah.
Even though.
So it just demonstrates that something's further back on the image. Yeah.
Aye.
Nice.
So once I get to like the kind of basic shapes, I usually put my brush down a size, and then now I'll just go around this, just kind of building up layers of detail.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good tip, and for the tips, it's like fake detail. just draw smaller lines around other lines. So if you take like this here, and then just break them up, just kind of don't do full lines. Don't worry, don't overthink it. Nothing, that's fine. And I'm purposely zooming in loads, right, just so that when we zoom out, we can see, oh, look how much better that looks.
Did you call it fake detail as well?
It's fake detail.
I've never heard of that before, but I love that idea. So you haven't got to think about what you're doing. You're just finding a border and putting a line around it, a thinner line.
Aye, that's it. And it will just make it look as if you've added tons of detail to your image. Normally I wouldn't zoom in as much as this, and it is making it a wee bit weird, but we'll go. Right, so if you just zoom out now, it just looks as if there's more going on already.
Loads going on.
And I tend to do that with most of the bits.
There you go. Top tip, fake detail.
You'll all be using it, I'm telling you. Game changing.
Oh, 100%. I'm thinking like next week I'm going to do all my tutorials are going to be on how to do fake detail. You've just sorted me out for a week's worth of tutorials in the Corp Academy. Cheers, man.
Again, another wee thing that I like to do is draw lines. Like, if say like you've got a circle and you'll put like lines on it where the face is.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up there just so that I like to put them on like certain shapes, like to show that is round up the top.
Oh yeah, I see.
Again, like just with them, like, so there's nothing there that should be lines on that, but it's letting you know that shape is supposed to be round.
Yeah.
And again, I just go around it now, drawing lines on lines. I'm letting out all my secrets in it. I think he doesn't actually draw anything.
So one thing I haven't noticed you doing much of here is, I use Adobe Frescoes because you've got like a vector clipping tool and you can just chop off the edges if you go too far with a line. It looks like all your lines just kind of end naturally at the perfect point. Do you ever have to do any like tidying up, getting the eraser out and just cutting in with bits?
Sometimes I will, but I just use again the same brush. Like I'd maybe do like, things like that.
Right.
If you zoom in, like I did earlier on, there was like a wee gap there. I think I stopped too short there, and it doesn't make sense for that line to get fatter. But I don't care that much. If that doesn't sound right, saying I don't care. But even though that line doesn't make sense to get wider there, because it's supposedly going down here, it still looks fine to the eye. And I think my artwork is necessarily not always right, but aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, that's more important, I think.
And that's kind of the way I go with it. So I'm self-taught, so I never really done the whole, this is how you draw a real person and things like that, and this is how you draw perspective and stuff. So I just kind of figured that out and draw what I like to look at.
Do you think that's helped you? 'Cause you've got quite a distinctive style. I think people will recognise. Given 5 pieces of artwork in front of them, they'll be able to pick out which was yours. Do you think the lack of any formal training has helped develop that style easier?
I think so, because I think mine's has just kind of been built up with me just. I think style's going to be a thing that always comes up being an artist, and the way I found mine was I more or less just copied artists I like over and over and over. Like I never claimed it as mine. It wasn't that. I wasn't posting things saying this is my artwork. Like I've still got pads that I'll have, and I'll open a page and I'll maybe say go to like corpse page and I'll just copy your artwork on that whole page, and like nobody will see it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't go anywhere, but
Yep.
it just teaches you things like picking up wee details and stuff. And I think just kind of it's weird though because I say that right, but see all my favourite artists, they don't look anything like I draw. And I'm like, so where is the influence? I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's must come down to like cartoons, because my favourite artists on like Instagram and stuff are like Ewan, with the ballpoint pens.
Yeah.
His stuff's insane, man. Like just, and that doesn't look anything like I draw. So
What about other artists? Who else is like your biggest inspiration, or who are you a fanboy of?
I like F. Is it E-F? How do you spell his name? K-H. By the way, it's a weird one because it used to be like electric pick or something like that.
Right.
And then he changed it to something that's like F. And again, it's not like stuff I would draw. He draws a lot of kind of pin-up stuff. But he draws these like women in like big cities, like they're giants. And he like renders like the skin and all that really nice. And then like, he leaves all like their clothes and stuff like pure flat colours. And it's weird. It's totally weird. It's like it's maybe not family friendly as well, though there might be some stuff in it that's not, but his style is just outstanding. One of my favourites recently, who I think's just coming on nuts, is Lobster Robin. Robster Lob man. Robster
Yeah.
Lob? Not messed up again, Anna. Lobster Robin. His stuff's nuts. He's got really nice line weight as well. But once I get to this point, like I tend to go back and forth between my drawing and my colouring.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do now is, with most of my drawings, is I'll just go in here with like a flat colour. We'll do a wee pink TV, and I'll just colour everything in pink.
That's a
Or
new
whatever
layer
colour I'm
behind
going
it, yeah.
with. Yep, this is a layer behind it. Yep.
Okay. Do you have a color palette that you go to, or do you just select whatever color you want?
No, I tend to draw in colour in pink, blue, or orange.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the standard colour palettes that come in Procreate, Ascend and Flourish, and I tend to just use those two.
Yeah.
I'm red green colorblind, so I can't see the difference between like browns, reds, and greens and stuff. So that's kind of I stay away from them because they'll just look the same.
I like the fact that
I will think,
if those colors are wasted on you, then nobody else is getting them.
if I can't see them, then nobody's getting them.
Yeah.
I do sometimes use green, but very rarely. I don't. So if I use red, you'll see that the only time I use red is if I've only done line work and I've only put one color in it,
Yeah.
and it'll just be red. But very rarely, pink, blue. In fact, you know what I should be doing him? I'll do orange because Kit's orange. So this is my character. So I tend to do the block color, and then I'll change it to not a Clinton mask because I feel as if I don't know what I'm doing now. Alpha lock. Change it to alpha lock. So what that means is that you can't draw outside it. So if I do pick a different color,
Isn't
you
that
can
just
draw
how
on it.
everyone uses art programs? Just go through all the blend modes until you get to one that does what you want.
You think you know it's that one, and then you go, oh no, it's not. But so that means you can color in there. So what I would do here is, again, I would pick a lighter shade of that. I've got a different brush I use. It's just a big flat brush, and I would draw a line through it, and then another lighter line, and then maybe a wee tiny bit at the top with just something super light. And then I use the Gaussian blur, and then it gives it like a nice wee fade. So again, that comes back to like the light was at the top and everything's still kind of showing that same thing. And then I wouldn't draw on that layer. I would always keep that layer separate. So you've always got your block color of the item or whatever object it is, its own separate color.
Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful.
It's funny, I feel more nervous doing this than I was expecting. I feel as if I was alright. And then greys, I like greys. Just color everything in grey.
Do you know what orange
Is everybody
and grey is a magic combination, I think.
There's going to be people joining along that are drawing traditional, aren't they?
It could be a mix. It could be a mix. I think because we had a few issues with Discord earlier on, the feed wasn't working in Discord, so I think a few people have dropped out of Discord. But we'll see if we get a few people sharing stuff. But yeah, generally what happens is that sometimes I'm drawing with a Sharpie and other people will be drawing on an iPad. So yeah, it could go either way. We'll see. But if anybody wants to share their artwork, just get over to Discord, share it in the comments there, and we'll post it.
Because I tend to say build things up in layers. I've got to get to a point if they are, and then I'm going to start adding things on top of stuff and put it like that.
I think the fact that within the first 10 seconds it looked like it was almost finished. I think everybody just shit themselves a little bit, thinking, right, let's get working.
Oh, we've still got ages to go, loads to do still. So these are just like, I say flat colours, I know that one's got a gradient on it, but then I would do my flat colours, and then because I do a lot of robots, I tend to put like glass on them.
Yeah.
And to do that, I use draw it in a separate layer. I need to draw it on top of that one. You need to draw it on top of the line so that you can draw over it.
Okay.
And then I just kind of draw around the inside of where I want the glass to be. Which takes a wee bit more precision that I'm used to. But it doesn't need to be too much, nobody will notice. Again, we'll put that alpha lock, change it to white, and then I like to just do like and then just drop the opacity of that to what you like. And then you've got your wee glass screen, and it means anything you add under that or put on top of that, it'll make it look, it's usually a face.
That's amazing. How easy you made that look as well. Is it just trial and error getting that to look like that, or is that somebody else's technique that we've adopted?
The glass?
Yeah, just kind of just putting that glass on, dropping the opacity, and
I think that's just eventually something that I've just built up to doing. I didn't steal that off anybody, I don't think. And then what I like to do is I like to cell shade my work. And this is where you'll see that I'll be taking kind of creative liberties on stuff. So we know the light's coming for the top, but it's not going to rear. Just so that we can create like more kind of layers of depth with the cell shading.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do that wrong as well. I always feel as if when there's like real artists watching, like, what is he doing? There's ways to do this. And again, I've got kind of weird rules that I have to my world. Like I'll never ever shade in the screen anything. That'll always just be left, but everything else I'll just kind of fill in black. You'll notice that I use like I know you can draw around and drag and drop and fill things in, and I do that sometimes, but I prefer to kind of just colour it in.
I love the fact that you do that, because I do the same as well. I colour in, but I always feel like artists are looking at me thinking, why doesn't he just drop the colour in?
It's don't know, it doesn't work very well, I don't think.
There's something quite nice about the process of colouring in as well, I think, just doing it manually.
It's my least favourite part of my art. So again, I'm thinking about the light when I'm drawing these and thinking, well, these wee parts here, they're like kind of wee round buttons, so I would probably leave a wee trim along the top where maybe the light's catching. This whole side, just to keep everything different, I'll just block that right out.
We've got a couple of pictures coming up in Discord, which is awesome. I'm going to share a couple with you. So you're working digitally, and oh man, this has come out huge. Sorry, Tracy. This is Tracy's piece. So Tracy's working in pencil. Tracy should know better.
5 minutes.
That looks awesome. Trey.
Brilliant.
Really nice. Who else?
Keeping up as well. See, that's class.
Staying ahead, mate. They've put more on
I
the
love
screen
seeing
than you have. Yeah. That was 3 minutes ago as well. Tracy's probably inked it in and minted it by now. Let's have a look at Silenthax. So Tracy's working on pencil. Silenthax is digital. Again, sorry, it's come through massive. Let me just minimize that a little bit. So we can see the whole screen.
Nice.
Yeah, that's coming on good. Some straight lines in there, Silenthax. What's going on, mate? We need some wonky lines. Wonky lines are the lines of the day. Talking of lines of the day, I think we've got a word of the day as well. Joff, sorry, did you want to explain a little bit about what's happening with? Are we minting an NFT today? Giving away?
Yeah, so we've got we're going to be giving away. Well, going to be airdropping an NFT. We've got a claim page up on the website at the moment, so it's corpdogs.xyz/free, and you'll see a password field. Put the word marker in there. I think all lowercase. Give it a go, and that'll then give you a Google form, and put your abstract global wallet address into that, and yeah, you'll get an airdrop within a few days. In terms of what the airdrop is, are we ready to reveal what it is, Corp? Or
Craig, are we ready to reveal what it is?
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
Cool.
Joff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually just asking, what is it? No, it's it's what you see on the screen at the moment. So what would be the finished article? So yeah, it's a kind of live draw along and mint session this week.
Awesome. And it'll be really nice when it's finished.
It's looking really nice already. I love it. It's just when you think, I'm looking at it thinking, oh, that looks about finished. And then you add a bit more and I'm like, oh yeah, of course it needed that. And you just keep on going.
I've still got to be well.
I mean, I've pieces up on my screen, and the amount of detail that you've got on them, it's unreal.
Yeah, what we'll do is if we have a quick look at Farts' artwork, because Farts has gone like full on felt-tip pens with theirs, and then we'll have a little look at some of your pieces, Craig. While you're kind of, if you want to draw in the background, you can do if you've got a bit to finish off. But we'll have a little chat about some of your other artwork, because the amount of detail in some of those pieces is just insane. But let's just bring in, let's see if I can bring in Farts' artwork. Farts joins us every week. Came in late, rushed it, pen and markers. That's looking decent though, mate.
Smashed it.
Yeah, look at that.
Fair play with the fade with the markers. Hats off to him.
Yeah, yeah.
So Farts' piece reminds me of an 80s cartoon called Pole Position. Don't know if you remember that.
Before my time, mate. 80s.
Yeah, of course it is.
I like the fact that
yeah, you're out of work. You're out working by then.
Yeah, that's right. Silenthax really didn't even expect to get it this far. Seeing created by speed, I thought for sure I wouldn't get anywhere close. I think sometimes drawing fast is a little bit more liberating, especially if you're learning how to draw somebody else's style. Don't get too hung up on copying exactly. Just draw fast, and your own style will naturally come out. Talking about style, let's have a little look at some of Craig's other pieces then. So I'm just going to change view, and we're going to have a little look. So Craig's still working there in the background. You can still see his head busy beavering away, but we'll just have a little look at some of his other pieces. What's this one, Craig? So is this what do you do with your artwork like this? Is it for sale as NFTs, or do you print them? What's the deal?
Well, that was a project called 100 Robots. That initially started. I done a gallery show maybe 4 years ago now, and in that, when I was there at the gallery show, I drew a bunch of robots, and I thought in my head, I just had this idea of doing 100 robots, and I was going to hand paint 100 robots, and then have a gallery show with all of them in it. And it sounded amazing, and I maybe painted about 16 of them, and then I thought, this is unrealistic. this isn't happening. And at that round about that same time, somebody got in touch with me to bring me over to Solana, and I decided to make it as a NFT project called 100 Robots, and it also became a hardback art book.
Right. Is that with this one's from 100 Robots as well? Yeah.
Yep, all the ones that are kind of with the white border and the kind of barcode at the bottom
Oh yeah, I see it.
are
Yeah.
all for the same series. They're all from a world called Out of Mana. So they've all got wee backstories and things as well. And
Do you come up with the backstories, or is that somebody else does that?
well, I used to. I still do most of the time. But I've just recently started working with a comic book writer, and which is super exciting because it's night and day. Because I'm not a writer, I'm really, really bad at it. It takes me a long, long time. And he's been helping me write my comic, which I've been trying to build for years and years.
Mm.
So this is exciting.
I love the fact that Joff's just zooming in on the detail. There's so much going on. Just the little peeled off stickers and things like that. How long? So for a typical piece like this, these robots, how long are you doing this for?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. I was just going to try and do the maths on whether 100 robots was going to be unrealistic or not, but actually 100 robots, if it's 2 hours per robot.
By the way, it was 2 seconds. I need to put my charger in. It was because there was massive burnout round about 75. It was hard to keep going.
Is that from like a lack of ideas, or you just wanted to move on to something else by then?
It felt hard to. I don't know. It wasn't ideas because I must have done about 130 or 140 robots all in. But I really enjoy line work. I really, really enjoy doing lines. And then see what I ended up doing was I ended up leaving loads that needed colouring.
Mm.
And in my head, I'm thinking I just don't want to do that. That's too much. It's like it's not a fun experience.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of put me off. But I eventually get through it. It took me longer than I expected, but it's done. And I even get the book printed. And I remember ordering the books, and it was a Kickstarter, and the books get delivered. And I was that scunnered with the whole project that the boxes just sat at the front door for about 2 weeks. I didn't even want to open them. And then see when I did open it and flick through it, I was so proud. Do you know what I mean? It was like, wait a minute, I'd done this. This is mine. And I was so happy with it. I think I
Brilliant.
just opened it 2 weeks ago and it'd be fine.
Are they still available, the books? Can people still pick them up somewhere?
um, they've never been available to buy other than through the Kickstarter. I do have
Okay.
ones,
Right.
but I've just not got round to making them available because I'm rubbish with things like that.
As most artists are, yeah, rubbish with marketing stuff. I
I
think
can draw. I'll draw you 100 robots, but don't expect me to put it for sale anywhere. Spend a year of my life drawing that.
what's I think you were talking a little bit a while ago about like art block. Is art block something you have ever suffered from, or have you got any like tactics for getting around it when you're struggling with ideas?
I don't think so. I don't, because I sketch a lot. I'd sit and draw, and I draw, and sometimes I can be drawing all day. Some days I might not draw or whatever, but I've got like a folder with just ideas, and I feel as if I'm ever unsure what I want to do, I'll usually open that folder up and I'll just maybe start putting lines over some daft sketch that I've done or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't feel as if I've ever sat and thought I can't draw.
Hmm. What are we looking at now, Joff? What page is this?
So this is it's a Solana kind of platform / marketplace called Drip.house, spelled Haus. Basically, Silent Axe is giving the game away. He's jumping the gun. Yeah, massive spoiler alert in the Discord. I thought let's get it on the screen. He's talking about it, so why aren't we? Yeah, so kind of Craig, you said kind of your first foray into NFTs was on Solana. How soon did you get onto Drip as a platform?
I think I started Drip January last year. So it was about a year after. I've been on Solana now for two. I'm trying to think now, or was it January this year? No, it must have been last year. I think 2 years around about the time I've been here. So it was a year
Okay.
I was on the space before I ended up joining Drip. I was lucky enough I got in there pretty early, and it was super successful for artists on it. But now it's kind of been opened up to like the public, and it's a lot more kind of available to anybody to use, and it's still good. I really enjoy it. I treat it like Instagram that pays me.
Yeah.
Because you're putting work on, and if people like it, you get drips, or well, you get equivalent to USD, and it can be good if you put the work in.
As with most things, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'd seen it from, I think there was like a daily drip. You could claim drip tokens or drip points, and then every now and then you'd get some artwork as well. But I never actually went beyond that. And I see like you've got different levels, like legendary and what the other ones like common. Is it epic as well or rare?
I'm not. What is it? So it's rare, legendary, and mythic.
Okay, mythic, not epic.
Aye.
So is that kind of gamification something that you kind of actively kind of get involved in?
I do have my different rarities on it, but I'm not good at kind of playing that game. There's some people. If people do want to see a really good example of somebody that does it well, there's a guy called Sirius Crocodile, and he's just got it down to a T, man. He's really really good at. He makes like wee animations into these wee cards. His stuff's really cool on it. But I tend to just draw pictures and hope folk like them.
Don't think the search is working, but
Sounds like
stick with
a job to me.
stick with your work. Yeah, I really like this Nintendo games collection. I think that box art is just classic.
That's another idea. One of the ones that I've had. Like, I've always wanted to make games. I've done games design, like a tiny wee bit back in the day, and I wanted to make games, but I wanted to make Game Boy games. You can get a wee thing called Game Boy Maker, and you can actually flash the games onto cartridges. So I wanted to make physical Game Boy games and make the box art with an instruction book. It's probably a wee bit unrealistic, but I'd love to do it eventually.
Yeah, certainly the box art looks good for it. Just need to work on the
That's
rest.
kind of the only reason I want to do it, is just so I can have more box art and look at this, look, I've got a game.
You've animated a few pieces as well, haven't you? Because one of the things I really loved watching you on Illustrated World Series was, towards like the last 5 minutes of a battle or last 10 minutes of a battle, you'd then just quickly whip in some really cool little animations as well.
I like to dabble. I would love to do it more. Like I always get the bug for it. Like, did Jenny's watch Arcane?
Yeah, love that.
See, like when I watched that, I think I want to try animating, and it's just nuts what people can do with it. And I love the idea of animating, but it's time consuming.
Well, the fact that it's taken like 50 people 2 years to make a cartoon. I don't know. How would you feel? Because like with something like Arcane, as an animator, you're sitting there working on like one scene for a couple of months. It seems that the pace seems a little bit slow for me.
I think so. Like I got a job last year, and it was great, I thought, and it was drawing more or less this one character, like over and over again, doing different stuff. And I thought, this is brilliant. And then see, maybe about 2 3 weeks in, it's like, I'm fed up with this, man. Just didn't want to be drawing that character anymore. And I'm like,
is that the kind of stuff though that AI is just going to take over? So you'll come up with your concept art, and then AI will be able to give you all the different positions and stuff like that.
it seems to be now, doesn't it? It's definitely making making an effect on artists.
AI.
What's that? Sorry.
You pro or anti AI?
I don't think it's as easy as that, really, is it? It's it's getting really, really good, really fast. And I think if you don't keep yourself in the loop, you're going to get left behind.
Mm.
It's a scare, because if you just ignore it and just keep doing, I think you're going to end up getting to a point where people are just going to be able to hammer out things that you're doing. And I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on, to maybe use as a tool, or it's not an easy one. I don't think
No.
it's getting too relevant to everybody. I hate all that. I hate all the Studio Ghibli stuff and the wee toy packages and all that. People are doing that. That's driving me nuts. But it feels super disrespectful, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does. I did see one. I saw the Philip Schofield one. That really made me laugh. I probably shouldn't have done. It did.
No, I've not seen that. It's probably not safe to search for on the stream, is it?
I mean, it's not obscene. It's going to upset a few people.
Yeah, I'll look later.
Yeah, maybe that's one for offline. Have a little look. So, Joff, are you just going through buying all of Craig's stuff on Drip House now?
No, I don't think I've got enough credits for that.
Oh,
But I was going to say, actually, because I got you onto Rodeo. I don't know if you've seen that,
yeah.
Craig. Rodeo.club. So it's on base. So it's the and it's a really similar concept. So kind of like you said, of NFTs. There is some in it. They only exist on or available for collection for 24 hours. It's basically like 30 markets. Yeah, bit of a secondary market. And it's just about getting your art out there and sharing it, really.
I mean, yeah, we message after this to get some details.
Yeah, no worries.
Strong. I'm easy.
It was like you said earlier. It was
Yeah, I mean, I think
Radio
we've
clubs
done it
like
ourselves.
Instagram.
Kind of, you get very, yeah.
Let's bring in some.
You can get very kind of.
Oh, class.
Yeah, look at that.
By the way, these are brilliant. Glass and everything sorted.
Yeah, absolutely nailed the glass on that one. That's brilliant. Who's that? Eritrish had a hard time following. At least it looks like a TV. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's a fantastic job. Doesn't look like you had a hard time following at all. Let's have a look at Tracy's as well, and then we'll get back to some more of Imrie's work. There you go. Tracy's put a bit of ink on there now. That's looking solid. Joff, that might have to be the new logo for Let's Draw for a little while. That's really cool. That is. Nice work, Tracy. Trish is asking, did we get the secret word yet? Yes, you did. Joff, what was the secret word again?
Marker. MARKER. I'll put it in the chat.
Marker. Put it in the chat. You're making it way too easy for people. Yeah, marker's the secret word if you want to claim your NFT from Craig from created by _Imrie, then best way to do it, have a little look at the ticker down below. It's got all the details down there, but you'll need an abstract wallet. So go to abs.xyz, set yourself up an abstract wallet. Once you've got that, head over to the Corp Dogs website, corpdogs.xyz/free, and put in your secret word, or your secret word of marker, and then add in your abstract wallet address. And in the next couple of days, you'll get. I'll reveal your artwork later because it's moved on quite a lot since last time we saw it. So you're going to get what Craig's drawing today, the finished piece. When that's finished, it'll get minted, and it'll be super rare as well, super rare. So and it's all for free. So there you go. It's all up on the screen now of where. Well, not your artwork, but where to go to put in your details. Easy as that. Look, Joff's come up with this fabulous little system.
Oh, I've put the wrong form on. I'll fix that. You keep talking. There we go. See.
So don't put it in yet. I'd probably give it a little while and then put it in over the next. I think we usually keep this open for like 24 hours, so anybody watching the replays who wants to pick up a piece of art can still pick it up. The other thing as well is, this will be the third piece, so anybody who's people are getting like a little gallery of free NFTs from some absolutely class artists. So Remail sent us a zombie. Aaron McPhail last week sent us a work in progress piece, all the black and white stuff that he does, and now we've got this TV head coming up from Craig as well. Right, let's have a look. What have we got up here then? Just having a look at some other work. So this is black and white stuff. Craig, what's this one about?
Again, that's just like everything that I draw is from out of mana, and this is me kind of just building the world. And because a lot of the times I was drawing robots with no context of size or scale or anything, so I like to show that they're all different. So that's got the kind of big robot leaning down, watching the V1 playing arcades, and I'm a massive gamer, so it's a very game orientated world. And it's just kind of, I'm painting that. So I'm self-diagnosing a slip disc because it's been like 6 weeks. But I'm painting that huge. Like I've got a massive version of that. I think it's like 2.5 meters or something tall.
Wow.
And I went through all the processes of making sure. So it was up in an easel, it was all sitting up, and I thought, right, I'm not going to hurt my back. But I leant on a certain part too high, and I dropped the canvas, and I went to catch it and jerked my back. And I've had a bad back now for like 6 weeks, so I can't paint it or anything. So don't get old and unfit, folks. Keep fit. I'm not.
Don't drop your 2.5 meter canvases, maybe. Or don't.
But that's
anyway.
I like just building up my world. Like I've been trying to do that for years and years. Like Out of Mana's got like so much to it, and I've just added and added to it, and I want to tell that story. I want to bring that out there to people.
Yeah.
And I just love adding loads and loads of details. Like, and the images, they aren't for anything. Like they're just for me, and I just love sitting on them and just drawing and just getting lost in it and just adding layers and layers of stuff in it. Even if it's just wee Easter eggs for me to understand because nobody knows the world now. But I still really enjoy just getting lost in them. That's my fun.
That's just crazy. Looking at this piece, it's just I wouldn't know where to go to, what to draw next. But it's just like an abundance of, like even the security cameras up there. I like the little camera heads as well. My guys in the Corp Academy absolutely. We drew your one of your security cameras in Posca Club, and they absolutely loved drawing it. The style came out really well. There they are at the top there. What does it say? Smile you're on camera. Nice. Even look at the trainer, just little pieces. That would be, for me, that would just be an artwork on its own, just drawing the trainer. But it's just a small little thumbnail of a piece on this bigger piece.
I don't know what the art style is, but where you can keep zooming in and you see like a whole new scene. I feel like that's this, where like you'll see that trainer in the top corner and you'll zoom right in. And then on the tongue of the trainer, there'll be like a little logo, which actually turns out to be a whole world, and you just keep zooming in.
I would be months and years I would be lost drawing something like that. I've seen them before. I thought I need to stay away from that. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not good for my health.
What we got up next, Geoff? I'm struggling to see what the thumbnail is on. Oh, look at this one, another world one. Yeah, you see the gaming.
I drew that for the Beeple. It's kind of the same. It's basically the same image as the one that I didn't color, only that robot's smaller. But I like that. I don't know. There's something about that kind of small characters in the bottom front, with all the detail behind them. I really enjoy that kind of perspective. It was something that I didn't do a lot. Like I used to just draw characters, and this is me trying to kind of push myself to do things that I'm not comfortable always doing.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving the blur on the foreground as well. I've just noticed that. That's really subtle, but that really draws you into the picture.
That's a Gaussian blur, amazing thing in Procreate.
I might have to try it because I don't think you get blurs and things like that in Fresco. Look at that. Endless detail, little security cameras again. Loads of recurring bits, cables hanging out.
You should have went back to the last one, actually. I feel the need that if I'm on your live stream, we need to go back to or even that zoom into like the wee guy with the tail in the middle and tell the stories about them.
They look familiar. I just can't put my finger on it. I like them.
So this is my cats. Like, I draw cats a lot as well, and my cats came from corpse worms, with me just stealing them off him. And they evolved into. What happened is I went to a graffiti park and I hadn't painted on a wall before, and I wrote my name. I don't know why I wrote my name because I've never done anything like that. So I wrote my name, and it was these big empty spaces at both sides.
Mm.
And your worms I always thought just stood out, and I thought I'm going to just paint name on it. So I painted your worms on it, and I gave them ears.
Yeah.
And then they slowly evolved into what my cats are today. So
Uh,
there's a good example. I'm not ripping off Quap. It's definitely my cats, but it's a good way to learn for somebody else.
and it's what I think it was Aaron or Remouse on one of the previous shows said exactly the same. When you're first starting out, that's what people do, and not even necessarily when you're first starting out, but if you're just looking for a new direction, that's where you start, and you keep on going until it's you.
Aye, that's I feel as if it's a good way to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It just
go on, mate.
it's weird to think that if I didn't go there that day to paint and maybe hadn't looked at your art that morning or something like that, my cats might have never been a thing.
Yeah,
And they've ended up huge for me. Like, it's robots and cats are like my main thing.
I mean, it might be weird to think that, but there's nothing quite as frustrating as realizing that I'd never have developed my corpworms into something as cool as those cats. That's
I don't think that's true.
that whole subspecies of worm, a cat worm, is just something I'm dead jealous of. What's this mocked?
Yeah, mine's have got wee legs and arms and that now, so mine's have got full bodies. It's even so much. See the comic that I'm doing.
Yeah.
The main bad guy in it's called Fat Cat. He's a big giant robotic cat that just looks like the normal cats, but we call him a robot. And I mean, that's even influenced that.
Brilliant. Just keeps on going. What's this? This was Moctopus.
This is Doombox. This is my card game.
What is Doombox?
It's a 2-player card collecting battle game.
Yeah.
It's a physical card game. I got them all printed up. I got them made into booster packs and things. I got a wee book with all the first 54 cards. And me and the missus I've wrote the rules. I've wrote the rules and we've played the rules, and it's really good. It's kind of a mix between like Magic the Gathering and Warhammer. So it's like dice rolls and things like that. There's quite a bit to it. I've never finalised the rules. I think I'm going to do a Kickstarter for it soon. I wanted to do it this May, but the process that the comics have in the now, I might hold off and do the comic first before I do Doombox, and I don't know. It's too hard. Artists' problems is too many projects and not enough time or money.
Yeah, not enough ability to be able to finish one project. That's our problem.
But I mean, I drew 54. There's 54 complete cards printed, cut, and I mean, there's shinies and everything. The only thing in it, but see, I say the only thing, it's hard to finalise the rules because like, if we play a game, it maybe takes us half an hour and we say, all right, that's not an we need to play another one to try and break it. And you're talking it's a lot of hours to play it to make sure you've got a good working game. And it'd be good to be able to set aside time to just kind of finalise that.
Yeah.
I'm super happy with that because Doombox is a game played in out of mana, and it was a reason for me to draw things that weren't robots or cats, hence the fairy that's up on the screen.
This fairy, yeah, a bit rat-like. Nice. So the plan would be to have these printed off on cards. And
I've got them all. They're already done.
They're printed already, are they?
You could buy them for a wee while. Yeah, I went to Comic Cons and sold them at that, and like foil pack booster packs.
Wow.
And you could get them. It was cool, really good. But
yeah,
again, I didn't promote it. If you don't know I done that, then that shows I didn't promote that at all.
But I think that's just even if you did promote it, the social media and the algorithm's never gonna. As soon as you're trying to sell something, it's never gonna do you any favors, is it?
Aye, that's as soon as you mention anything, that's it.
Mm.
It's killed artists on that.
One of the things I really love about you is obviously the digital artwork and how easy you make it look and how distinctive it is. But I've always loved seeing you kind of then just get back into IRL stuff. And so this next one is a skate deck. And this kind of stuff just blows my mind. Is this okay? It is drawn on, yeah.
Yep, yeah,
It's
that's
not printed or anything like that. Or
no Alpha 6 and Molotovs.
yeah,
Can't get sponsored by any of them.
it's. I'm sponsored by Posca. It's overrated. They just send me a few free pens.
I'd love that. I would love free pens. I'm not a big fan of posts because I'm not like I like the interchangeable tips and that for Molotov and the refills. I paint like a lot of that's painted like just buying the refill bottles and
Right.
squish it into a wee tub
Yeah.
and then painting on my brush.
Yeah.
And I feel as if I'm getting to the point where my digital and my traditional's looking the same. Like you can still tell they're me, and I like that. Even similar colours and things like that.
Yeah. 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 That's awesome. That is. Is that available? Is that sold? Do you have a shop?
Um,
I think I know where this answer's
it's
going.
it's in my studio, but you can't buy it anywhere.
You are a full-time artist, yeah? Am I right in thinking that? You earn a
Yep,
living from
I
doing.
yep. I
Wow,
should try and
imagine.
sell more things.
Yeah, imagine if you actually did try and sell stuff. That'd be crazy.
It would be I just when people say things out loud and that you're hearing it, you're thinking, maybe. I do use Etsy for some things, but it's not got very much on it. I know for a fact it's got prints. It's got my new prints on it. I know that, but I don't think it's got very much original stuff. I
No,
initially painted that the skateboard was painted to get customers to come to my table. See when you do Comic Cons, I don't know if you ever do anything like that.
no, I've never done it.
I don't know because they just turned into like anime cons more than anything.
Yeah,
But the reason I painted that was just to try and get folk over, just to kind of like, oh, look at that, and let them see the rest of the stuff, like the Doombox cards and things like I had, my colour books and things.
yeah. I just want to give Joff 10 out of 10 for being like almost like BBC producer level kind of bringing
You're
in
impressed, aren't you?
Etsy. Just as Craig mentioned, Etsy was just amazing. Look at that.
It's good that it's the one name across everything, makes it easy.
I'd
Nothing
actually got the
against
link from
Bob.
your drip profile. I'd seen it earlier. Giving away the secrets now.
Yeah. That's what you need to do as artists. Just make sure everything's linked together so people can go on a little journey and find all your stuff.
I'm
Nothing
even
worse.
wanting some of them are old.
Some of them are sold.
Not old. I mean, old. Some of them are really old, aren't they?
Can you? I don't know if I could tell. Has your style kind of changed over the years?
I'd say no, but I can tell.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I feel as if looking at it, that I think they're nice. Like I wish I didn't do the spray paint in the background on them now. I think they could have just looked nice with just a plain line work. Might try something like that again. Quite like that.
Yeah, I quite like the spray
I've not,
paint.
I've not done
It works for me.
not done that. We speak over in a while.
There you go. He's even signed it. So yeah, plenty of stuff available on Etsy then. Infinity Cat.
The form's working now, by the way.
There you go. Flood the form. Secret word is marker. Just enter. Go to corpdogs.xyz/free. Enter the secret word marker.
Yep.
Enter your abstract global wallet address, and yeah, it couldn't be easier. That's the easiest way you'll have of collecting some of Craig's art for the next 24 hours, anyway. It's all working. If anybody does get stuck with anything, go to corpacademy.com. Let's draw, which is the email, URL we've got right at the bottom of the screen there, and pretty much that'll link you to everything you want from like the YouTube feeds, previous guests that we've had on, links to Craig's Instagram, that kind of stuff. Here we go. Is this another one on wood? Look at that. Is wood your preferred surface to be drawing on, or
definitely? I don't understand why folk would use canvas. I can't get my head around it. Like, obviously, when it goes bigger, you need to use canvas, but smaller scale, I can't understand what people preference they have over canvas. It's horrible compared to wood. See, if people have tried painting on canvas and they didn't like it, I recommend trying it on wood. It's just night and day.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. The texture of a canvas is awful to work with. And there's also something really nice about these bold colours on that natural background as well.
It's weird because wood looks nice with everything. It's one of the things that, see, it just looks nice as a background, and sometimes I look at it and I think I should maybe paint the background. I think, but it looks cool that way.
And do you know what? Weirdly, even if you just picked out the color of the background, that wood color, and just painted it that background color, I don't think that would look as good as that natural wood. And even I like the fact that the wood is kind of a little bit beaten up around the edges. It's not particularly smooth around there. It's just got a little bit of a natural finish to it. I love that kind of stuff.
One thing you'll find with my paintings is you'll get, but let's see, like if you zoom in, like you can see these wee bits. I just call them bits, maybe like round about the hands or the can. So they initially started getting drawn in my artwork because I'm super careless when I'm painting or when I'm doing my line work.
Yeah.
And you're working with wood, then you're going to end up with like splashes and mistakes. So I just started drawing them around them.
Brilliant.
And then they've just incorporated into everything in my work now. It just became part of it. So this is like all the different things that I've built up.
So now you're a bit better with your line work and you're not quite so careless. You're having to put these things in more naturally and think about where they're going now.
No, I'm still really bad.
Still loose.
We've had a question on YouTube from Clive about asking, how do you prep the wood?
I use, I need to try and remember this now. Oh no. So there's Mod Podge in there, but it's not that I use. I use something else, and it's going to drive me nuts now. It's like a clear. You brush it on white, and it dries clear. Oh no.
I mean, the only thing
it's
not PVA glue.
No.
Okay. If anybody
matte medium.
What?
Matte medium.
Matte medium.
Aye, medium.
Oh, well, there you go.
Medium, matte medium. Aye, medium.
I like that.
That's it.
One of my favourite artists. What else have we got? What's coming?
We do have a competition at the moment going for the best. Well, yeah, kind of unofficially on YouTube for the best mistranslation of whatever Craig's saying.
Well, because of his accent, I never even noticed his accent.
Yeah. We had instead of Samurai Jack earlier, we had Salmon-eyed Jack. So salmon as in the fish.
People are googling Salmon-eyed Jack.
Yeah,
brilliant. They're never going to find it. You never find classic.
I feel as this is me slowing down and enunciating as well. Imagine I was just talking normal.
We've got a couple more pieces I want us to look at, and then we'll have a little look at your artwork as that you're finishing off as well, if that's cool, mate. And yeah, we are going to wrap up in the next like 5 minutes or so, people. So if just remember, secret word is marker. If you want to grab hold of a piece of Craig's artwork, all the details are below. Look out for the ticker. And
I think my wee boy's joining in and all down the stairs, so I'm just going to say hi to Lucas if he is still watching. And Let's see how he's getting on.
Good lad. What's this one? Out of Mana Vector. Is this one of the toys in this? Is this an AI thing, mate, that you've done just to get on to jump on a trend? Unbelievable.
Aye, this is the toys that I make. Um, all handmade. I design them myself on my iPad and Nomad. I print them out, I hand paint them, I make the packaging, and also these aren't available anywhere.
It's like you
But
know
they
what
will
questions
be.
I'm going to ask next. If people wanted to buy this, where can they buy it from?
These aren't, but they're going to be. So I done one as a test,
Yeah,
and I done 5 of them, and they sold out, and they went really well. And then I want to do like a wee series of 6 or 7, and I wanted like that one didn't have like at the back of the box. I want to do it so as if you could collect them and stuff. And
yeah.
when I do it, I want to do it right, and they'll all come with a Doombox card that ties them into Doombox, and they'll have a wee comic strip that ties them into Out of Mana, and everything's all going to be tied into each other, and it will make it such an experience that people will hopefully love. Hopefully.
If it ever gets out there. So I think we've counted about 3 or 4 projects that are like in the works at the moment. So we've got the comic, got the action figures, Doombox.
So we've got Out of Mana, we've got the toys, we've got 47 Oni, and did I miss one? The toys, the comic,
Yeah,
the
Card
Doombox.
cards,
game.
and the 47 Oni.
Brilliant.
That's the masks on drip. So I've got four, but all interconnected. So it's like me working on an anthology program on my own, just doing
Just,
all the episodes.
it's going to be one
So do
massive.
you need one other project to kind of wrap it all together?
I could do a wee series of camera heads.
Yeah.
It's probably what
This is the I love this camera head. This is the one I chose. So back in February, so you know I run the Corp Academy. Back in February, we decided to do some drawing challenges of things that we love, and obviously your artwork is one of those things that I love. So I used that as like a loose way of being able to teach people in my Corp Academy how to draw in your style, and this is the one that we picked out, and it was great fun to draw, but to get the perspective looking just right because it's kind of a real kind of exaggerated perspective about it with the shape. To get that just right and to get the circular lens and the square camera box was just so much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But we really enjoyed doing it.
I think that's back to the whole thing that it's wrong. That's how it's hard. I think you're probably trying to draw it right, and then like, I'm just just draw it this way. It'll be fine.
It looked
Nobody will notice.
good enough, yeah. And this is this is all Molotov, one for all as well, yeah.
Yep, aye. Um, I just love them. They're just such nice pens, man.
Mm.
See, when you that feeling of just putting in like a new nib and then pumping it, and they're so nice. Like the opacity on them's brilliant. They dry super fast. Not sponsored. Sounds like it though, doesn't it? It does sound like. I just think, man, they've just made an amazing pen.
Yeah.
But their felt tip pens are rubbish. Tips are too soft.
Maybe that's why you haven't got the sponsorship, mate. Maybe not mention.
Aye, not do that publicly. That's probably not a good idea.
I think I'm gonna have to. I did have some Molotov pens, some one for all pens, because they're linked with you get the spray paints, can't you, as well? So the color match with spray paints, and I love the idea of being able to work big and small with exactly the same pigment. Is this?
I tried.
No, go on, mate.
I tried like the kind of the water-based stuff.
Yeah,
I tried it and I thought it was all right. Like all the graffiti artists I know tell me it's rubbish, but I was like, it's fine. It's like it was a bit runny, but for what I was using it for, it seemed okay. But I like the idea, the same as you, that if you needed to touch something up or add a wee bit in, you could use the pen. So it was obviously it was working for me different, but it was still pretty cool.
yeah. I think as soon as you can get used to the fact that water based is just going to be a bit runnier and take a little bit longer to dry, then yeah, there's no difference. Not that I know a huge. I'm like you. I'm not a huge spray painter, so I don't know. This bit that we've got on now, though, is this cut out? Is this, or is that like a fake shadow around the back of it?
No, that's a woodcut. I like to do once the weather gets better in Scotland, which was last week. That was a summer, I think, which I missed because I've been on my back. That I
Okay.
like to do woodcuts. So what I usually do is just cut hunters in them and then paint them. So that one was like double layered. So the skull's behind
Oh
the
yeah,
mask.
yeah.
Um, but I love doing that. That's just there's fun, man.
Do you cut it then
Uh,
draw it, or do you draw it and then cut out?
I draw it. I used to use. So what I used to do is I would draw it digitally, and then I would use a thing called Vectinator, which I think they've changed their website because it wasn't for what I used it. So what I used to do, you people who are probably better with computers, this isn't a hard thing to do probably.
Mm.
But then I could print it out on Vectinator through my iPad, like any size I wanted, and it would just print out the 4 bits all in different pieces, and I'd tape them together.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing you can do that easy in some other ways, but it was the only way I could figure it
Mm.
out. And then I would put that on the wood with carbon paper underneath it, draw it on, and then jigsaw it out.
And is this
If
just
anybody's interested in that, I can find out which jigsaw blades and that I use because you need to buy super fine ones, but I would need to find them.
I assume this is kind of leaning up against a wall in the studio and not available on Etsy or anything like that.
No, that's gone. That one, somebody's
You,
they don't last long.
uh,
When I make them, people usually just message me.
uh,
That's up in somebody else's house,
that's nice.
So
which
if
is a
anybody
shame.
wants to
But I'd
buy
like to
anything
keep
that
it.
they've seen, they can just message you.
Aye, things like that. I probably should sort of shop. I keep thinking that I'm going to get a website with a Shopify and all that. And I think that's what puts me off doing everything. And then, but aye, if anybody sees anything, just give us a shout. My DMs are always open, even if you just want to ask questions about what you've seen tonight or you didn't pick something up. I'm super happy to chat to folk as well.
If
What's the best way
where,
of getting hold of you? Is it Instagram or?
Instagram or Twitter, I'm on both of them just as much now, to be fair.
so yeah, just to confuse everybody, it's created by Imrie on Instagram and created
No underscore.
_ Imrie on Twitter.
That person that stole that might possibly have been me at a younger time.
Awesome. Right, cheers, Geoff. I was just about to ask the same question, so thank you for that, mate. Should we have a little look at the how Craig's getting on with his drawing? Let's just switch over. That's how it's looking. Look at that. I've missed so much.
A nice wee sticker, probably.
I like that. The little stickers are just great little additions. The little heart sticker down the bottom, that's nice.
Like the all the things, rainbows, clouds, hearts, happy faces. Just keep things fun.
Yeah, yeah. And just the way the acid face, the little sticker kind of sits on the glass as well. I love the way that's sitting there. That's really nice.
So just
A
so
little
folk,
crease, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll join. I draw them on like a separate layer so that they are sitting on top of everything. So you can kind of turn them on and off.
Mm. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff as well, where you can then put another layer on with some different stickers in different places, and you got different different versions of the same artwork, the same base, but
An NFT.
beautiful. Right, I think we're going to wrap up. Now there. So just one reminder. Well, first of all, thank you for everybody who's tuned in to watch today. It's been a bit of a mammoth session, hour and a half in, but that's because there's been a huge amount to talk about and loads of great artwork to see. Everybody that's been watching, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Do us a favour and just share the feed. Follow the channels, follow Craig, follow us, and yeah, just get involved with what we're doing. We do this every Wednesday. Craig's our last guest artist for April. We'll see if we can get a few more people in May. Probably just going to be me drawing with a Sharpie next week. So we're on a bit of a come down, but it'll be fine, and we'll get some we'll get some guest artists in after that as well, because it's been this last 3 weeks has been immense. Being able to speak to Remouse, Aaron McPhail, and yourself, Craig, it's been amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody that's tuned in. Anything else we need to tell people about Joff before we disappear?
Just make sure that they head to the free airdrop claim before this time tomorrow.
There you
Give
go.
it 24 hours.
You got 24 hours, or otherwise known until as when Joff remembers to take the form down tomorrow. That's how long you've got.
That's it.
An unspecified amount of time, but it'll be about 24 hours.
And if they do struggle with getting an abstract wallet, then drop into Discord.
Joff's DMs are always open. Is that right, Joff? Nope.
Thanks a lot for having me as well.
No worries. Thanks very much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you draw and
you're welcome.
A chat about your artwork. Really appreciate you taking the time out for us. And hopefully you'll come back again when we do Digital Chaos, which is going to be our like art battles online. So we'll have four artists kind of digitally drawing.
I want to be
time.
Top of the list. Put me up there. I'm up for that.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. And I'd love to have you back for that if that's okay, mate.
No, definitely. Thanks a lot. It's good chatting to you. It flew by. I didn't realise we'd been this long either. So
yeah, mate.
Right. Thanks a lot for trying to understand me for an hour and a half and brought it along. And I love seeing everybody's work. By the way, it's weird as an artist seeing people draw your stuff. It's definitely humbling. The stuff was amazing. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Thanks for coming on, mate. And thanks for everybody who's watched. And back again next week. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you all soon. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.